What's up, guys, and welcome to this. This is your New Japan Pro Wrestling's Best of the Super Juniors Night 1 and Night 2 review show. I'm your host LK from SOS Rest Talk. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button, drop a comment with your thoughts and opinions on these shows down below, and I'll read each and every one of them, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Block A and Block B. Oh man, just finished watching the conclusion of the main event of night 2. I am a day behind, so I do apologise. Thankfully, I've actually caught up, because I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to get back today and catch up in time, but glad I have. Apologies, I won't be extremely loud. It's currently 11:30 p.m. UK time. I have got to be up in 7 hours for work, but we digress. So I'm not going to be shouting too loud. I don't want to wake anyone up. That's not what this is about. But let's get on with it. Night 1, and I've got to say off the bat, I much preferred night 2 to night 1. Night 1 was okay, but just based off even looking at, the rerunning in my mind of looking at these cards, definitely night 2 was the better watch. But we'll do night 1 first. So I won't be breaking down any of the non-best of the Super Junior matches. So any of those tags happen beforehand, I will not be wasting a millisecond of time talking about them. That's just not going to happen. So let's get on with it. Block B, first match of the tournament. Man, it's nice to do this. I haven't done a New Japan review in a fucking way a while. I did a little news video covering the blocks for this tournament. But that's the beauty of Japanese wrestling. You can just dive straight back in. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm diving straight back into the best of the Super Juniors. I'm going to be look based on their schedule. They have a two night. So that's how I'm going to do it. Sometimes, if I do get a bit far behind, I'll do like a 3-4-1 in a show. But I will try and keep up with it the best I can. If not, I'm sure Dion will be there for the hot tag. So we have Nick Wayne versus Sho in the opening match of the night. Obviously, Sho part of the House of Torture. No longer part of the Bullet Club after Dontaku. That's something that what's been going on with the Bullet Club, and it's kind of just fizzled out. Are we at the point now where we just call a day? A day's a day, off you go. It's kind of like you're not even the Bullet Club anymore. You're War Dogs. Just be the War Dogs. Like, you don't need to be Bullet Club War Dogs. You don't have to be House of Torture Bullet Club. You just be House of Torture. You be the War Dogs. The Bullet Club don't exist, and we all move on with our lives. Nick Wayne is the prestigious Ring of Honor TV champion. That is one company that you will not catch me reviewing a show of, is Ring of Honor, until they really pull their finger out. I think that the fact that it's taped before Dynamite or Collision just makes it absolutely worthless. Exactly the same as 205 Live back in the day. It's the same as Main Event. It's the same as Superstars. It's all the same. If it's not, it's there just because it has to be. Tony Khan bought it. It should be in a separate arena from AEW. Should have separate rosters, separate writers, separate producers, and feel like a different show. It shouldn't feel like, oh, this just, people are leaving. They don't really care. It's either before or after a show where it's pointless. Anyway, he's the TV champ. Good for him. This one started off with your traditional New Japan brawling around the building. Nick Wayne launching Nick Wayne into some chairs. Sho then hit Wayne with a chair on the left arm, and it's so strange seeing Wayne work a face. It's been, at least from the AEW I've been watching. Excuse me, I haven't watched. That was disgusting. That was fucking dirty. I apologise. If I was a professional, I would edit that out. I'm not, so I won't. I would apologise. I had a bit of Diet Coke before we went on the air, and it just came out. At least it came out the mouth, and it didn't come out the other end anyway. So it's strange seeing Nick Wayne work as a babyface. But it works. Obviously, he'd done it before in GCW and everything, and he did it for some time in AEW before he turned heel and did stuff with Christian. AEW, I kind of watch the pay-per-views and don't watch Dynamite because I don't like feeling sad. And in this channel it's predominantly a Perezzo channel, so I don't want to waste time watching something I don't want to watch if I'm not even going to rant about it. If you know, maybe I'll watch the pay-per-view and break down the pay-per-view if anyone asks, which I doubt they will, so I won't. So there was a nice toe pick on Hero from Nick Wayne. Ref got distracted, showed low blow, plus a power breaker for 2 for a good near fall. Wayne hit a really nice dragon suplex for a 2, and then Wayne with the Prodigy Plex got the win. Okay match to kick off the tournament. Show starts off with 0 points, and Nick Wayne, the prestigious Ring of Honor TV champ, on 2 points. I give this 2.25. I'm going to start doing, because there's the Dropkicked app. I get that no affiliation. I just downloaded it literally the other day. I haven't actually played around with it yet. But it's very similar to Letterboxd. Letterboxd is great. Me and my partner use that. It's basically a movie review, kind of, but you just rate it stars. And someone, I don't know who, some fucking genius, has done that with wrestling, and it's not just WWE stuff. It's AEW, AAA, CMLL, New Japan, Noah, DDT, Tokyo Joshi Pro. It's really cool. So go check that out if you haven't yet. I think it will be something that will take off. So I then find it acceptable, because I'm going to go on my Dropkicked and I'm going to put these ratings in there. So I'm not like a Dave Meltzer. Take it as a pinch of salt. I'm going to give it 2.25 out of 5. Just solid stuff. And then we had Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Dragon Dia in A block. Man, Kanemaru. This guy's been around the block. I feel like, you know, we saw him in Suzuki-gun. He never had really a big run. Has he even won a championship since coming to New Japan? That could be a question. You know, has Yoshinobu Kanemaru won IWGP? That is a question. Reddit, tonight I had a dream where Yoshinobu Kanemaru accidentally won the IWG Heavyweight Championship. What the fuck? That is a strange one. That is a very strange one. Man, why is... Oh, fucking hell. Yoshinobu Kanemaru, idiot. You know what? Here he is. Here's the king. I mean, he's obviously successful from back in the day. Yeah, he's a 6-time IWGP Junior Weight Tag Team Champion with 1 time with Taichi. God, do you remember Taichi used to be in the juniors? El Desperado. Of course, he won it with El Desperado loads of times. How would I forget that? And obviously he's done loads of stuff in Pro Wrestling Noah, which is when he was originally there. 7-time GHC Junior Heavyweight Champion. So Kanemaru, and I'll let you put on my notes here. You know, he's a veteran. He doesn't have classics. He's just very solid. He's going to go in there. He's going to get his whiskey jar. And you know what's going to happen. You know the stick. And that's absolutely fine. And there's no problem with it, because we like Kanemaru. Dragon Dia. He's from Dragon Gate. Haven't seen much of him. Dragon Gate is one of those where I have fumbled in the past. So I'll watch, you know, bits and pieces. And especially like Dead or Alive and there's shows like that where I will catch bits, or Kobe World, Kobe Festival, and there'll be parts where I watch and then I just don't follow up. And it's, you know, all the subscription services these days, you know, New Japan World I think is fine because you get a lot of the tours and a lot of the big shows, and you know, $9.99 it costs, so £8 UK. That's not bad for ad free anyway. You know, by the time you add your Netflix, your Disney, you know, if you have any sports packages, it all adds up, man. So all these streaming, especially in Japan, at least with, you know, WWE these days, you can just have Netflix in the UK and you have everything. But yeah, you don't want to jump on, because, you know, I'm looking at potentially doing, you know, Wrestle Universe, but then, you know, you spend too much, and there's only a certain amount of wrestling I can consume and I can cover. It's not like back in the day where I could just come on here every single night and do one of these shows. As much as I would love to, I just can't. I have, you know, other responsibilities now. Unfortunately, I'm not a 20-year-old anymore, which does extremely upset me. But it is what it is, so I'm sorry, I go off on these rants. This show is probably going to be fucking long, so I do apologise. It's even worse when I have notes. When I don't take notes on these shows, at least it's just like, and this person beat this person, and then I'll rant. And now you have to listen to me yammer on about Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Dragon Dia. So Kanemaru attacks pre-bell, just working the leg loads and loads. That was a scary springboard moonsault by Dia. Kanemaru just wasn't back to his feet yet. Very, very fucking uncomfortable. And again, even though after that, Dia goes high risk, lands on his feet, sells the leg. Kanemaru pouncing with a figure four. And then Dragon Dia got the win with a crazy head scissors off the top. And then into a running victory roll, which got the win. This was alright match. Good to see Dragon Dia here, and good to see Kanemaru. But it'll be interesting to see Dragon Dia against some of the younger chappies, in all due respect, in the A block. I think this A block is absolutely stacked. There's so many matches I can't wait for. Speaking of, we had A block, so Kanemaru's on 0 points and Dragon Dia in the A block is on 2 points. Then we had Francesco Akira against Kosei Fajita. Akira obviously part of the United Empire, Fajita part of TMDK. Man, Akira's really improved, hasn't he? The last few years. Especially being in the United Empire probably helps, being around the talent level that is in that group, the TJPs, the formerly Jeff Cobb, the Will Ospreay, Great O'Khan, they got a really good group going on, and they're obviously learning off each other and stuff, and it's just good seeing, I remember watching Akira when I used to cover All Japan, back in 2018, 19, and I just thought he was shit. I thought, what the fuck is this absolute idiot doing here? And I tell you what, he's proven me wrong. He has. He's really improved. And it was, again, a different start. These are both younger, so it started off a nice strike exchange, consistent back and forth, kind of no one taking control. Akira went for a springboard moonsault. Fajita got his knees up and a cradle for 2. Crowd really got into this one. Fajita hits a German. Akira no sells, and the crowd digged that. Then Fajita hit another snap German for a 2, got another good near fall, and then Fajita hits a fireman's carry into a DDT. Boom, got the win. Fajita with 2 points, Akira on 0. I honestly, I'm glad this has happened, but obviously it's so early in this tournament. It's impossible to kind of go down any prediction kind of ways, because you still got so many points to be proven, and not even that, so many points to be won. Sorry, it's probably the better terminology. So it's kind of one of those, just because you lose your first, say, 2 matches, I wouldn't even say you're eliminated yet. There's still a chance. But I thought we were going to get an Ishimori, and I thought Ishimori was going to get to the final, and I still think that. I think we're going to get Ishimori in the final, and I did think Akira maybe, but mainly Kosei Fajita. I think he's going to lose in the final, but I would love to see Fajita go on an undefeated run during this tournament, get to the final, and then not be able to win the big one. Similar to what they tried to do at Master quite a while ago, getting that kind of, he got close, he gets close, and doesn't win the big one. And it does normally work, so when they do win the big one, it means something, it matters. It's good storytelling. So hopefully, that is a hope, Fajita goes far and deep in this year's Best of Super Jrs, because he's incredibly talented, and these two put on a decent match. Gave this 3 out of 5. I thought it was really good. It mixed that technical, it mixed striking, mixed high flying, some good near falls, some good crowd work. It was a really good match. Then we had Kushida versus Hiromu Takahashi in A block. Man, this was a main event at the finals a few years ago. In fact, it has. Kushida should never have gone to NXT. He does stuff with, TNA and mostly New Japan and USA. But man, who fucking... I wouldn't... I saw on New Japan, it was like $19.99 to watch one of those fucking pay-per-views. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's just like... I don't know. It would be like if, AEW went to Japan and then charged money to watch it. It's like, I'm not fucking doing that. Just put on Dynamite. I don't know why they charge on New Japan World to watch it. Obviously they gotta make money, you know, but man, I'd watch those Resurgence, for example. I would watch that, but I'm not paying for it. I'm not, because it doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't. It's just like, you know, AEW, like Forbidden Door. Like, we're looking at prices. And it was like, fuck me, it was like £300 to go sit in the nosebleeds. And I'm sorry, I'm not paying that. You know, you could get a English soccer season ticket, you know, from £400 to £600, and you're gonna get good seats, and you'll be able to go to what, depending on where your team is in the division, you'll be able to go to 23 games, 20 games, you know, 19, sorry, depending on what division you're in. So why would you pay? Why is wrestling now so expensive? Well, it's going down that UFC route, isn't it? Like when UFC come over to the UK, it's extortionately expensive. Why is it getting so expensive? Is it because it's a premium product? No. Is it because the shows are great? No. It's just greedy, and people will pay it. People will pay it. It just is what it is, and you know, I refuse, just outright refuse. You know, and there's especially like £300. I mean, you could go on a holiday for that. You know, you really could. You know, you could get a package deal where you'd be able to get your hotel, your flights, transfer. Say all inclusive, probably go 400-500. So that's all your bill, all your food taken care of, or even half board. So would you rather go explore a different culture in, say, Europe, or would you watch AEW Forbidden Door? You know. That's my problem. That's why I'm not going to all these wrestling shows. Cause I'm fucking. It was really good actually. To be fair, I've been to really working my way around Europe. Really have a passion for traveling. It is something that I'm really enjoying. In the later parts of my life, make it sound like I'm 40. I'm not. I'm not even 30 yet. Getting there. But yeah, sorry, I do waffle like this. Some people enjoy it. Some people don't. And if you don't, I can only apologise. Anyway, Hiromu Kushida. Kushida, man. It's such a shame we never got to see him move up to heavyweight. I almost think it's criminal. You know, and that's what the Never Openweight Championship was created for, so that you can have guys from the junior division move up to the heavyweight. But, you know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and you can go back down to juniors. There's nothing stopping Kushida having a Never Openweight title reign for 6 months, losing it, going back down to junior. No harm, no foul. You know, just in time for Best of Super Juniors. It's not. And it's the same with Hiromu. I feel like it's kind of, he had his time where he was red hot. They should have capitalised, they didn't. And here he is. You know, he's still doing great stuff, and he's still, you know, really popular, but I feel like his flame has fizzled out a little bit. But yeah, Kushida going to NXT fucked him. Really fucked him. Bent him over, spat on him. Awful stuff. So Kushida attacked here pre-bell. Hiromu then went for the Sunset Powerbomb over the top. Kushida holds on, but then Hiromu running drop kicks to the knee. Hiromu was in control for several minutes, working the leg. Nice running hurricane off the apron from Kushida. Kushida keeps going for the arm bars. Makes sense as he finishes the arm bar. Really good cradle exchange until Hiromu applies a knee bar where he falls back, which is really it's just brutal. It's the move that put Francesco Akira out of action, and then applies a Cobra Leaf to get the win. Alright match here. Expected more of these two, but you know, at least they both worked a body part. It was a nice change from the high flying from the previous match. But you know, Hiromu on 2 points, Kushida on 0. I give it 2.75. You know, these guys could do 4 and 5, but you know, it's night 1. And then we had the main event. We had the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion El Desperado versus Titan. Titan from CMLL. Not sure why he was X. It's like, man, we've seen Titan here for like the last fucking 20 Best of Super Juniors. It's kind of like, why is it the big reveal being Titan? It's like, oh, fuck me. Man, Despi's surely at the same point as Kushida Hiromu here. Are we at the point where he's done what he's, all there is to do in the junior heavyweight division? Do we move him up? But it's not about even moving up. They can go for the never openweight belt. They don't have to then go for like the world title or the global title. They don't have to do that. They can still go back down and challenge for junior tag titles, for junior championship, but make it so you're not stuck there. It's like, must be so frustrating. Especially like, Despi's he goes and does his own stuff like Jun Kasai and things like that, where he gets to be creative and gets to wrestle, different styles, and it's kind of, he's just stuck in this pigeonhole. Poor guy. He was in control early until Titan picked up the pace. 2 suicide dives, Tope Con Hero. You just see so many of these Tope Con Heroes now. It's crazy. The crowd were definitely into this one. Really good back and forth exchanges. And then Despy with basically like a standing bow and arrow gets the win. So he starts off with 2 points. Titan on 0. I gave that a 2.75 for me. So overall, not a bad show. There was my favourite match tonight was Francesco Akira versus Kosei Fajita. But nothing on here was shit, which one good thing about the best of the Super Juniors is you're never really going to get a shit match, are you? You'll have to be an absolute howler. Then we had Night 2, 11th of June, which took place yesterday. We had Ninja Mac going one-on-one with Robbie X. So Ninja Mac is a wrestler for Pro Wrestling Noah, and Robbie X is part of the Bullet Club of War Dogs. This one was blink and you'll miss it. It's just really fast paced from the start, just flipping around each other. Mac does this absolutely incredible. Basically does 3 backwards handstands and then moonsaults over the top, lands on his feet, and then as Robbie X is running away, fucking Mac is chasing him doing, backwards handstands. It's absolutely incredible. Ridiculous. Robbie X then slows it down, he takes control. He then hits a running springboard corkscrew to the floor, goes for a standing shooting star. Mac gets his knees up. Robbie X then goes for a handspring elbow in midair. Mac hits this really nice twisting enziguri. And just gift level of finish. Really great stuff there to get the victory. So Ninja Mac starts off with 2 points, Robbie X on 0. 3 and 2.5 stars, 3 1/4 stars. I really dug that. If that was 15-20 minutes in length, we could obviously bump it up. It was only 10 minutes. You can't really go much higher than that. But for the time they were given, they went out there and they just went for it. It's a really good match. Really good match. So that match was already better than anything from night 1. And that's what we get from the Master A block. Then we had B block action. We had Mayo against Kevin Knight. Obviously Mayo from TDT, Kevin Knight from AEW. Really fast paced start again for this one. Arm drags, dropkick, springboards, your normal stuff. Knight goes for a springboard. Mayo in midair hits a spinning heel kick and then a slingshot cutter. Crowd definitely behind Mayo. They're not with Kevin Knight, but they're definitely with Mayo. There was a really good spot where Mayo hits a springboard hurricane runner, then Knight hits a superplex, Mayo no sells, crowd digs, both fall to the floor. Really good stuff. Knight then goes for a spike DDT, which Mayo counters into a Mochinoku drive, which is beautiful for a good near fall, and then Mayo with a super kick gets the win. Really good stuff. Again, shame this only got 10 minutes. I gave this 3.5 out of 5. 3.5. Really dug it. That was one of the better junior matches I've watched in a while, and it's so good to see. This is Mayo in night 1 here. Imagine when he's, no disrespect to Kevin Knight, but imagine I'm really looking forward to him, Mayo versus Robbie Eagles. I think that's going to be a really good match. And then there's also, from the B block, him Nick Wayne, him Show, him Despy. Hopefully he wins the match against Desperado and earns himself a future championship match. Really good stuff. Really enjoyed that one. And props to Kevin Knight as well. It takes 2 to tango. He's done alright in AEW. Really enjoyed his match with Will Ospreay at pay-per-view earlier in the year. I think it was about a month ago. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he does. Let me have a quick look. Apologies. Sorry, friends are sending me some disgraceful. That was funny. I'm so unprofessional. Then we had Clark Connors against Master Wato in the A block. Wato is the current junior tag champ with Yo. Connors part of the War Dogs. Much slower pace than the previous two. We slowed it down with those chair spots. You grab your wrestler, you throw him into a stack of chairs, and you waste 5 minutes brawling until you hear the ref count 1, 2, and it happens over and over again. The same as usually in Kurikan Hall. Boom, straight into the barricade, and it's rinse and repeat. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's a formula that works, but it's just quite refreshing after watching two high-flying matches to go back to this. Clark Connors here working the leg, threw him leg first into a car tyre. It's very strange. Wato then goes for a springboard, lands on his feet, and Connors hits a chop block, which I thought was really nice. Crowd a lot quieter for this one. You kind of expect that. But then Connors kind of out of nowhere hit an Impaler DDT to get the win. Maybe Clark Connors here with the win against Master Wato could earn a future IWGP Junior Tag Title match, but who gives a fuck? Connors 2 points, Wato 0. I gave it 2.25. It was okay. I feel like coming off those two really fast-paced matches, they were really put in a death spot, and they weren't given a lot of time. They sort of went at it and tried to tell a story with the leg. Wato sold it fairly, but the win happened and it had nothing to do with the leg, so why bother working the leg? Drives me mad. It's just, if you're working a body part, at least have the finish involve that leg in some stretch. Whether it's you're going for your finisher, you can't hit it because your leg's hurt, or you hit your finisher, you can't capitalise because your leg hurt, and that costs you. You can't crawl over to make the cover depending on what your finisher is. Like, there's so much, psychology-wise that you could do to just spend, and especially as like a fan sitting there investing time into a match, especially when it's only like 12 minutes long, and you're seeing 5 minutes of a body part being worked, to then not have it. Why didn't I just skip it to the finish? Why didn't I just watch the finish? It just pisses me off, man. It's just fucking shit. Excuse me, sorry. Then we had B block. We had Robbie Eagles versus Yo. Yo is junior tag champ, obviously, with Master Wato. Eagles is in TMDK. I wrote on here both these guys underrated, and Yo obviously a former everything, and Robbie Eagles as well. But they go out there and they always have good matches, but no one really sings their praises. Will I or will I not? I did like the fact they started with a good old school collar and elbow tie-up. That's always good to see. They then had a kiss exchange, which was interesting. Eagles then working the leg. Remember the match before? Working the leg? Why? What? Surely Clark Connors and Master Wato would have been like, oh, Robbie Eagles is wrestling next, and he always works the leg. So I had to sit through 5 minutes of leg work for no reason, and then here at least I'll give Robbie Eagles credit. His finish is the knee bar, so storyline wise it makes sense, and I dig it. But man, I'm not gonna sit there and just watch. I can't believe you would sit there and go and be like, yeah, we'll work the leg. Why? It's your finish is the Impaler DDT. Why are you working the leg? It doesn't make sense. Stuff like that infuriates me. I can only apologise. So anyway, Eagles working the leg, and I've literally put there, maybe the match before should have worked the arm or the neck or fucking anything. There's a really good spot here, but Yo's selling of the leg was dreadful. I mean dreadful. Master Wato's was okay. I would even say acceptable, even though it had no implication on the match. That wasn't on Wato. But I must say that the body part setting of Yo here was shit. Truly shit, to the point it affected my enjoyment of the match, because Rob Eagles was doing really nice stuff here. Always going back to the knee, springboard dropkick knee, just doing so much work to that knee. And then every time, for example, there's a strike exchange, Eagles kicks the knee, and then Yo sells, but then he just gets back up. He's not, imagine, if he's being kicked, hobble over and then give a strike back, not just go straight back into it. It's like, you can see in his mind, he's like, oh, next spot, next spot, next spot. No, don't do that. Just sell the fucking leg. Because then you're protecting yourself, like Yo hitting a reverse Rana and then a super kick. It's kind of like, do the reverse Rana, hobble to your feet where you're selling the leg, and then hit the super kick, and then go for the cover, holding the leg, and then it's going to mean more when Eagles then applies the knee bar to get the win. And they finished it at the right time. The crowd really peaked. It took a while, but the crowd finally bit. The crowd got into it, and being quiet in a Japanese crowd isn't anything too bad. But yeah, so Eagles here on 2 points and Yo on 0. Decent enough match. I gave it 2.75. I know I ranted a bit. It's just because that's a pet peeve of mine. You'll probably be thinking, what the fuck is this guy on? It baffles me. Sitting there and putting a match together, and it's about a body part, and that's the story. It's simple. It's Robbie Eagles. Every one of these guys in his block should be like, right, I'm facing Robbie Eagles, I'm going to sell my leg, because then if he wins, I'm protected. Because I wasn't at full strength because he worked my leg, and I wasn't 100%. And then especially if you have him in the early rounds, lose to Eagles and then bandage your leg, and then that story can progress through the whole tournament. It's just little things like that really make a difference to me. So I apologise if it doesn't to you, and if it does, who knows? Hopefully you enjoyed that. Then we had B block main event, Taiji Ishimori against Ryusuke Taguchi. Man, heading into this one, I was like, what the fuck? Why are we getting the funky toilet? Ryusuke Taguchi. He's a comedy guy. He has in the past turned it on for Best of Super Juniors. And then he has times where he hasn't. So it was really good to see him really turn it on here. So started off with some serious back and forths until Taguchi gets a bit comical, and then Ishimori goes to town for several long minutes. But then Taguchi on the comeback, springboard crossbody from the inside to the out. Ishimori went for an inverted tombstone, which Taguchi countered into an enziguri, which was really nice. They then did a excuse me. And did an ankle lock into a crossface back and forth counter. Taguchi with an inverted press slam. We've got a fuck you near full crowd screaming his name at this point. And then Taguchi applies the ankle lock. Ishimori taps, crowd erupts. That was awesome. Heading in, I didn't give a fuck. I was like, this is the funky toilet against, Mr. Heel Heat, the guy who will do fucking rest holds galore. And I was so wrong. Taguchi got the win here, and by the end of it, I was rooting for Taguchi. At the start of this, reading my notes, going, he's got a fresh trim. This could be quite comedy, light way to end the show. But no, he turned it up. I gave it 3 out of 5. Yeah, it could have been more, could have been less. If you enjoyed it less, I get it. If you enjoyed it more, I'd understand. But it was so good to see the funky toilet Taguchi really go out there and really give it his all. So let's have a quick look at what is coming up. Because I believe we do have Night 3, and we do have Night 4. So Night 3 takes place on Wednesday, and Thursday is when Night 4 happens. Or we're back to full nights. So, we've got Block A. We have Akira versus Ninja Mac, that should be good. Kushida versus Robbie X, that should be good. Takahashi versus Fajita. Stick that on the main event, man. Yoshinobu Kanemaru against Clark Connors. Go to the piss. Master Wato against Dragon Deer. That could be fun. And then Block B, we have Yo versus Sho. Ishimori versus Mayo. Eagles and Knight. That should be fun. Taguchi against Titan. El Desperado, Nick Wayne. So many good matches coming up. I hope they really do deliver. These are, as well, by the way, from the Kurikan Hall. And then Night 4. which takes place on the 15th, which is the Thursday. Let me triple check I'm right with that one. Yeah, we'll go with that. We have Clark Connors and Dragon Dia, Kushida Ninja Mac, Hiromu Akira, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Robbie X, and Master Wato against Koji Fujita in Block A. Block B, we have Desperado, Ishimori, Sho vs Taguchi, come on Taguchi, Yo vs Kevin Knight, Robbie Eagles vs Nick Wayne, and Titan vs Mayo. And that's coming up on the Thursday. I will be covering both of those shows on Thursday as a fun fact for you. So looking forward to doing that. And then the Saturday and the Sunday show I will cover on the Monday, and then the Tuesday show I'll cover potentially. It all just depends on how it goes. But as of now, we are good to go. Let's see what cage match actually rated that. Yeah, 7.28 rating for Taguchi and Ishimori. Mayo Kevin Knight only got a 7. That's bullshit. Anyway, not here to talk about that. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. Apologies if it was a bit longer. If you enjoyed the longer style format, great, because I'm looking forward to giving coverage. It was really good fun. Thank you for having me. Thank you for enduring me for 35 minutes of your life. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you stay safe, stay well, and I'll be catching your asses down the line.